The Mobius camera has a trick up its sleeve when it comes to the lens. It's actually designed to be user changeable, so with a couple of screws at the bottom we can gain access to the case and you can change it from the standard lens type A to the wide angle lens, which is known as type B. And you can also do something which is really cool, which is you can mount the lens remotely from the camera body. And to do that you'd use a cable like this, which one end plugs into the camera and the other end plugs into the lens itself. And that's what we're going to do in the next 5 or 6 minutes. We're going to take this apart and mount the lens remotely. And why would you want to do that? Well, a couple of good reasons. First and foremost, it actually allows you to remotely position the lens. So if you were flying this, you could put the camera inside the model safely out the way and put the lens on the outside, or if you're using it for something like a dashboard cam, you can put this out of sight and just have the lens discreetly positioned on the dashboard or behind the rear view mirror. Now these cables come in various different lengths. This is the one that I've got, and at this point I'd like a big thank you to banggood.com for sending me this cable to try, because I've seen this in a couple of forums and I was kind of interested to set it up and play with it here. So if you want to have a look at this, the link is in the notes underneath this video. If you click on there you can get it from these guys, and interestingly, looking at the prices on eBay, Banggood are a bit cheaper than everyone else at the moment. So definitely go and have a look on there, and thank you again Banggood for sending this to me. So let me get a screwdriver and we'll start to take the camera apart. So the first thing we're going to need to do is to take out 2 screws. Now if you look underneath, there's only 2 screws at the front, the back is held on by clasps. So if we use one of these small Phillips screwdrivers, make sure we completely clear the threads, then the case will come apart. So now we are in the camera. You can see that I need to be a bit careful because I've left the battery plugged in here. The lens is actually connected to the camera by a little ribbon cable going into this 0 insertion 4 socket. And that little black bar at the back, when it's down in that position, is actually grabbing onto the cable. So the first thing we need to do is, using a thumbnail or something non-conductive really, is lift that black bar. Okay, so hopefully now you can see it's lifted. We can actually lift the lens out and we can withdraw that ribbon cable without any problem. So that's the first part of the process. The next thing we need to do then is obviously put this extension cable in. So let me just take it out of the packet. Just touch a bit of earth metal because it's static. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is to put the camera into this end. So exactly the same process. We need to lift that little black bar that's on the connector. So I'm just going to do that with an X-Acto knife. There we go. So again, hopefully you can see that little black bar is now moving. So the next thing we do is we then gently push the end of the cable into the end and then push that black bar down, and there we are, it's connected. So that is one end of it done. The next bit of course is to then insert this into the camera body itself. Exactly the same process. We make sure that that little black thing is lifted up, we insert it into the connector. It's a little bit fiddly this, because you have to kind of walk it in. There we go. Push the little black piece down and now that's connected. Now, what I would recommend here is that, as you can see, when we close the case up, there's actually a gap around where the cable's going to come out. So I would recommend getting a little bit of black plastic or something, cutting it to size to fit just inside the rim, and poking a hole through it just on the edge that will just keep that there. But now what that means, I'll close this up in a second, is that I can put this lens outside the Mobius and the Mobius somewhere else. So to close it up, it's very straightforward. These two tabs at the back need to be located first. Close up the case and then pop the two screws in the front and you're done. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and happy flying.